Okay, I have successfully made a new boot for the F550 to go between the truck and camper windows. And this one here needs to be about 7 inches thick. So I took 2 pieces of foam, cut out the soft chewy centers, and got some Sikaflex, you see a little bit of white there, and glued the 2 pieces of foam together. And then up here I had to make a wedge that is about 12 inches long, 3 inches at one end and 1 inch at this end, the short end, and then a 3-inch block that goes all the way across the top. And so the bottom is 6 inches even, and the top is 3 inches in because it has an angle to it. You see there, you get to the top, that's 3 inches. Okay, so we have the new window boot, and it will let the cats go freely between the camper and the truck. And they just love that. It just makes them so happy to have that ability to get into the front where there's no humans allowed while we're camped, and they can have some peace and kitty quiet. Also, what's good is the cab over, that's this area here, shades the truck cab almost all the time, so the cab is always the coolest place temperature wise for the cats. So I've got some duct tape on there to hold everything together, and I've got maybe 30-40 pounds of plywood stacked on top to compress everything together. So we'll see how it goes tomorrow morning. Okay, this is the new foam boot for between the truck and camper window openings, so the cats can travel freely back and forth from the camper to the cab, use their litter boxes, get food, whatever, or go up and hide under the blankets on the bed. So let's go take a look over here. And so the boot is made from a single 3-inch thick, 30 wide, 72 long piece of cushion foam that I got at Fred Meyer. And I made 2 identical pieces with the chewy centers cut out to the window opening. And then I sandwiched them together here, and then I also made some wedge pieces inside there because the window of the cab slopes forward. So as the camper compresses the foam pad to the truck, it will conform to the opening slope on the cab window. So anyway, it's basically the same as the old one. I just had to make it 3 inches thicker because of this here little addition. The bed of the F550 sits a little farther back, 3 inches, and so you have to account for that. So anyway, that is the way I'm handling this to get a seal between the truck and camper. And being that it's wide like that, 6 inches on either side of the window above and 4.5 below, that it should keep road noise down. Then also, because there are creepy people out there, I'm going to make a plywood insert so that it will have more solid of a connection and someone couldn't come along and like push or pull the foam out of place and let the cats out for some reason. And if I put a plywood tunnel in there, then that will be hard, but it will serve another dual purpose too, that high winds on the road have blown this thing out of position before. So if I put a plywood tunnel in there, then it will keep the wind, crosswinds, whatever, from blowing the foam gasket or boot out from the truck. And I glued the foam together with some Sikaflex, and it's been drying in there for about 12 hours now, and I had a hunk of plywood laying over the top of it to hold it, compress it down flat and even. So all the caulk is solidly adhered now. Okay, that is the update on this. I'm going to put this here Gorilla waterproof patch and seal on the inside of it, just to hold it together, and across the top, because it's waterproof, and need to have some kind of a waterproof layer on it to hold everything together. Okay, so that'll be it for now. I'll show you in a bit what happens with it. And then also I cut the foam. It cuts easily, but you gotta have a sharp knife. And if you don't have a sharp knife, then you are going to chew it up and make a ugly looking cut. And there, and here is what I used. Just one of these here blades that sticks out, and if you have a new one, it sticks out quite far, and you can cut through the foam fairly quickly and easily. All right. These are the new cat carriers I got for the guys. Blue for the boy, gray for the girl, Archie and Poppy. I lowered the height about 3 inches. These new carriers are 21 long, 14.5 wide, 14.5 high, and that allowed me to lower the shelf down so that I could get a second carrier up top. So now we need to set up bungee cords, restraining stuff to hold their carriers in place, and just ensure their safety when we're traveling. And usually the gates are open for them to wander and roam. Still need to build a plywood frame around the foam there, because Poppy likes to chew on foam. We don't want to get him sick on the road. So I have these here tie points went over there behind the upper cat crate. So I'll put one there, and then for this lower one, I think I can actually just put a piece of plywood or a 2x2 in the middle on the side of the crate, and that will pretty much hold it from sliding around inside of there. And then we'll also be able to pull it straight out this way. Or I might just put a hook in the floor, and that way we can bungee that one in too. But that one is already fairly stable because it's inside of the wood frame, and the wood frame is very solid. So this side here is where the litter box goes. see the litter box is in place. Then I got this thermometer so that people can look inside the truck cab and see that the cats aren't cooking. The truck cab is the most shaded place in the whole camper. And so it should just never be a problem for them overheating because it's got this nice big truck camper over it to give shade. So, and there is the tunnel going back into the truck camper. They love that thing. They hang out back there, come up here, eat, get in their crates, use the litter box, and everything works out very nicely. Another nice thing is that you see this here is the vent, so we always have the fan on, and if there is something unmentionable going on inside of the kitty litter box, we don't have to worry about it because it will just go right out that vent. So that works out really nice. And you see the 1.5-inch pink foam board there. It's flush to that white metal framing above, sheet metal unibody. So, all right, anyway. Still working on it. Not done with my fuel pressure gauge. The pyrometer and transmission temperature gauges are up and working though. So anyway, all right, let's I'm gonna call it a day. I'm tired. That is the foam gasket between the truck and camper for the cats to get in and out from the truck to the camper or back and forth. And over here, that is the pass-through I made for the cats. You can see it is just plywood that fits in between the cab and camper. And one of the things about that is when we get on the road and there's a lot of wind out, the wind has in the past blown that foam gasket out between the camper and truck, and it creates a hole. Now this is a bigger hole because the 550 has a different setup than the 250, so there's a 6-inch gap there, and if the foam blew out there, the cats could just walk right out, and we don't want that. So I made this plywood that fits in there, and that will prevent the foam from coming out. And then also that platform there, that's going to make a cool spot for the cat. The cats are going to be fighting over for who gets to sit in the window there. And as you see, we got the litter box and the lower and upper carrier positions. Okay, so that's the update for now. I do have other projects that need to get done. Here's Archie and Poppy getting used to their new crates, and they seem to like them pretty well. They have nice thick foam pads inside of them, but even so, I don't know why, but they decided that laying on top of the crates was cool too. We'll get it fixed. So these are the crates where they're going to be positioned in the truck camper behind my seat, and I have to put in a couple of clip loops for bungee cords to hold them down and secure. So this is how I made the foam that goes between the windows. Cut out the center, glued it all together with Sikaflex caulk, weighted it, and let it set up for overnight. And now this is what I'm using here, 5/8-inch ACX plywood to make the tunnel pass through between the truck and camper. And there you see it there. It is free floating in there, and it's about 1/2 inch smaller than the window opening because we want it to be able to move around in there. And I decided to paint it black So it got 3 coats of black paint on it. And it looks pretty good. I chose black because it kind of becomes invisible. I don't really see it out of the mirror. So this is all for cat comfort. You see how we have a nice bed for the cats here. And in the morning when they get up, they have their coffee is ready and waiting for them. Okay, hope you enjoyed the video. We'll see you on the next one. Like, subscribe.